you can say look at a simple structure. You studied graph, trees, other stuff, but we are making use of a tree to arrive at certain decisions and then proceed with that. And that is where the decision tree basically used. Typically, you probably use it for yes no decision. For example, says should we go out if rainy or not? Should we stay home? Or should we order pizzas outside or do we cook food at home? Just binary decisions. That is what most often we do. But it's not restricted to only binary decision. It could be a multi-value decision. And there could be multiple choices, what you want to eat, where do you want to go, multiple choices, you want to go for a park, walk, you want to go for a picnic, you want to visit a friend's house, depending on the inputs or data you got to make certain decisions. But most often it is a yes, no, quite often, but it's also used for multi-value decision and need not be only just yes, no. It is in ML or our terms, it is called most widely used classification technique. And it basically primarily two reasons. One is that it's simple to understand and implement. It does not require some much deeper mathematical knowledge. You simply follow a path, you arrive at a decision. So simpler and easy to understand and implement. Its accuracy of results is as good as any other good ML classification algorithms. So accuracy wise, we are better off. Understanding implementation, you are better off. And hence decision trees are popular and we use it. In general, we typically ask few questions and answers. And I trust you probably would have played game in your childhood among your friends or something. Let's identify your object. So maybe given a fruit or something or in the house, in a room, and you are allowed to ask only 10 questions. And based on the questions, you probably decide which is applicable, which is not. For example, first question would be, is it alive? Is it dead? If it is live, does it has 2 legs or 4 legs? You maybe make different kind of decisions. And so game playing, guess who, identify the object, just by the yes no answers. We have been using decision tree in our life. And typically with a very short number of questions, we are able to arrive at a decision. And that is where the decision tree becomes very, very handy. So what DT gives us is the whole process of decision tree is ML is that given our data, we are able to extract some knowledge out of the data. And that is precisely what we are talking about the decision tree. Given the data, we can probably get some knowledge out of it, and using that knowledge, we could make a decision. And the model that is built using algorithm, using data, is basically what is called a decision tree. Now, a typical decision tree construction process would involve the following. Essentially, when we build a decision tree, essentially what we do, at each stage, we divide our data set into certain portions. We take attribute, we look at the value, and then all the data set having value X goes into one bucket, or we follow one path. Data sets with another value go to another path. So basically dividing our data set and then keep processing in that fashion. When we start with, first we need to create a root node. And with root node, we start dividing our training set into it. And after we root node, we look at which is the best attribute we can choose so that we can split the data. And then once we choose our root node, we look at the various branches. We take the example, is it hot, is it cold, it is normal weather. Based on that, we decide whether we want to have a hot coffee or ice cream or some other snacks, something of that kind. That depends. We make a decision. And based on the choices, we made a decisions, build a decision tree that basically narrowing our data set, and then repeat the process of step 2, 3, and 4. Select the next attribute, look at the values to branch it out, continue further till you basically reach a leaf node. And when you reach the end leaf node, that is when you terminate, and that is where the decision tree algorithm finishes. One simple example that we use in our daily life decision tree is all of us would have gone to a doctor at some point or other point in time. Most of us, if not all. When you go to a doctor, how does doctor diagnose this? Doctor, I'll ask some questions. You basically says, do you have a fever? Answer yes or no. Then says, do you have a cough as well? You say yes, no. Do you have body pain? Based on things, do you have breathing problems? So if you have a set of questions doctor asks, and the next set of question depends upon what is the previous question he has asked. And based on the diagram, based on the questions that have been answered, doctor treats you, identifies the disease, and say take this medicine. At times, doctors may not be able to really identify, and doctor may need more data. For example, you say your body pains or the fever, then you don't know how long your fever has been running. So doctors say monitor your fever, temperature every 4 hours for next 3 days. Come back and report and see how do you feel. Because then it will try to determine whether you have a pneumonia, whether you have a typhoid, or is a normal flu fever, or fever due to tiredness, whatever. So doctors almost daily basis they use decision tree as part of their profession or a job. And each time a question is answered, doctor will follow certain branch, and so on, so forth. That is how the decision tree works. And once you reach end, you're diagnosed, disease is identified, and then you proceed further. As we said, in ML, all that we are doing is from the given data, we're extracting knowledge, how decision to be made, and that knowledge is represented using decision tree. And that is where we use some ML algorithm so that for the given data, can you build a decision tree which basically represents our knowledge. And once the decision tree is made, then we can use it to arrive at a decision when we present it with some other data set or our query data. Having understood the basics, how does my typical decision tree algorithm would work? There are different number of algorithms. You probably studied ID3. Now, how does ID3 algorithm work? Anyone? I mean, ID3 is iterative dichometer. It makes use of the principle called information gain. And that you studied last semester. So given a variable, you look at the occurrence of probabilities. And given the probability, you basically find the entropy, which is defined as sigma minus pi log pi. Put a minus sign because log pi will always give you negative, because pi is probability, and if you take a log of a number which is less than 1, then log would be negative. And since probabilities are always less than 1, so log of probability would be negative number. Hence, we say minus pi log pi, that basically gives me a positive number. So for given variable, the possibilities, you basically find out the entropy, and the information gain is, if you were to choose how much you are gaining from going from one value to another, what is the information gain? And based on the information gain, you pick a root node, and then you pick the next set of nodes. And that is what is called ID3. We will do something very similar. So basically different algorithms, ID3, error based, CH 4.5, or CH8 or whatever, they basically differ on what is the splitting criteria. How do you choose the root node? And what should the values be used to split? Should we look at those values only which are binary? If I look at multi-valued, do I combine into two groups and then choose binary? Or do we a multi-way branch or something of that kind? Having chosen a root node again, how many splits, how many branches to follow? And when do you stop? Do you have to stop only when they reach a leaf node? Or can you stop in the middle? Or even if you reach a leaf node, because depth has become too big, you want to reduce the depth, and that is called pruning the tree. If so, how do you prune the tree? Those are different approaches taken by different algorithms that are used to build a decision tree. While pruning can be done two ways. First, to build the whole tree and then prune it, or secondly, prune the tree during building itself. Basically meaning each time you prune, you identify the amount of error that could happen because you're cutting some decision making or decisions could be wrong. I want to look at as long as you're told it error less than certain percentages, we say our depth could be fine and this could be the amount of depth we don't want to go 10 level of depth because 10 level of depth gives me error of 1%. But if I were to prune and depth of 5 level gives me error of 2%, I must stick to a depth level of 5 because that will help me arriving decision in a much faster way. The decision tree good part is the more the training data, the better result would be. And again, the more the attributes has the accuracy. So look at those aspects. And we probably look at some criteria. We take our data set and then define how to build our decision tree. Before we go there, let's look at the standard example which you studied. We take the same example. The example of given 14 data records consists of 4 variables and fifth is a level play. Would you like to set we play or not? And those 4 variables are outlook, temperature, humidity, and windiness. And depending on the different values, you know whether you can go to play or you can't go to play. Now, when you want to build a decision tree, our question is how do we split? How do we define our root attributes so that we should be able to answer a question like this, that if outlook is sunny, temperature is hot, humidity is normal, and it is windy day, should we go out, play or no? And that decision should be taken from the decision tree. If it were not a decision tree, then all this data one can do is put into the database, like what we'll do. When we put all the data set into the database, now when you want to query, we fetch the query and make a decision there. This query checking and getting the answer works very well if query matches the record which exists in the database. But that may not be always possible. You may not always have a record in your training set what question you want to ask. And that being the case, it becomes a challenge for decision tree how to work with those if you're trying to implement using a database. So primarily, if I'm using database where I put the records and try to identify and predict, my challenges or limitations or what you call disadvantages are if there is no matching row in the DB what I'm querying, then database will not give me single record and then I don't know what to do. Or if I skip some attribute, it may give multiple records and those may be conflicting ones, then again a choice what you would like to do. Thirdly, database could contain large number of records, and if I need to search for entire database, it will become inefficient implementation because you need a lot of processing power. Whereas if you're building a decision tree directly, Since we are doing quick decision making from top down, cut, this is rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, and we are done quickly. And hence, decision tree are really popular. That's the way they basically use. So we probably like to look at given the variables. Let's look at the approach. How we want to build a decision tree. As our key question remains, how do we choose the root node? We like root node to be the most important variable. So given our data set of 4 variables, which is outlook, temperature, humidity, windiness, which is most important? Now the importance cannot be decided by some personal feeling. It has to be supported by numbers or some mathematical logic. And based on that, we decide that which is the most important attribute. As we said, in our data set, 14 records of 4 variables. What should criteria we choose? Should we use outlook? Should we use temperature? Should we use humidity or wind speed? And what should we use to evaluate? Now, the way you can look at it is, since you are picking one variable at a time, you can look at which variable you get maximum money for the buck basically you're given. What get maximum buck for a given task? Or which gives you maximum benefits? Or which variable lead to give me maximum correct answers? Or alternatively, which variable would give me least number of answers? So always look at one question at a time and say, assuming if I would ask aloud only one question, what that question would be. And we like to say that that question would be the based on the probability given, like to minimize the error. For example, if I know that in my class I have a 70% boys and 30% girls, so by default I choose a rule that if you pick a student, identify the gender, predict the gender, to 70%, I would say I'll be correct 70% time and I'll be incorrect 30% time. So error is only 30% or 3 by 10. So we like to pick a attribute where I can face minimal errors, and that's the approach we basically would take. So what we'll do is, in our data set, we have the 4 variables. For each of the variable, we will look at their correctness, that is, which variable gives me least amount of error, and whichever will give me least amount of error, we'll choose that to our current node. If we're starting at root, first we look at the root node, then we look at remaining node, and so on and so forth, till we end up reaching a tree. And that is what basically the decision tree exercise is. So we take one variable at a time, evaluate it in terms of how many incorrect answers or what is the probability of giving incorrect answer, and proceed and do that for all the variables. And out of the 4 variables, choose that variable which gives you minimal error or automatically implies which gives you most correct prediction answers. And that's the approach we take. So we'll stick to errors, but it could be alternatively the most correct answers either. And that way we'll look at. So let's look at our data set. Our data set has this 14 records. We have 14 variables. And if we want to evaluate each variable, assuming that is the only question we are asked, then which variable you want to choose and what should the rule basically be. So evaluate for each, we first evaluate for outlook, what the errors would be, then evaluate for temperature, we will evaluate for humidity, and then windiness, and then proceed. So consider outlook. When I say my outlook, and my outlook is sunny. So my outlook is sunny, then I have this record, I have this 2 record, Then I have this record, or let me probably highlight. I have these two records. Then I have these two records. And then I have one of these records. So I have total of, you can basically say, 5 records. Now, out of the 5 records, so assuming given to me that I ask what is the outlook and somebody says sunny, should I decide answer no, or should I decide answer yes? Now, among these 5 records, I look at which is the answer which occurs more often. So in our case, Sunny knows 1, 2, 3. So Sunny no is 1, 2, and 3. And Sunny yes is 1 and 2. So that means I would like to pick up no Sunny. If it is Sunny, 3 records contains no, 2 records contain yes. So I'll choose a rule that if outlook is sunny, my answer would be no. And if my answer is no, then I have 3 correct answers and I have 2 incorrect answers. So given that I have 3 correct answers, so when I choose a rule that my outlook is sunny and my decision is no, what would my error be? Given this case that I have 3 correct answers and 2 incorrect answers, if I were to choose a rule that sunny is, if outlook is sunny, my decision of playing is no, will not play. Now, what is the probability of error from these records? Any thoughts? What would my error probability be if I were to decide when weather is outlook is sunny, my decision is no. So my rule is decision is no. What would the error value be? We look at total 5 records. 3 records give me correct answers. 2 records give me incorrect answers. So my error would be 2 by 5. Because out of 5 records, 2 times data says if you choose the rule sun is equal to no, 2 times you'll get a wrong answer, 3 times you get the right answer, and hence this error would be 2 by 5. Any doubts about how the value 2 by 5 came in? Any questions? Abhishek?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? How do you get 2 by 5?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else has a doubt? Let me know, because this is the crucial. Again, look at, we are basically saying, I'm looking at outlook is sunny, and if outlook is sunny, my decision is we will not play. So my decision is sunny means we will not play. My error probability is 2 by 5, because 3 times I'll end up getting a correct decision. Given that, should we choose sunny is equal to yes? Because if I were to choose sunny is equal to yes, then my error would become 3 by 5. I'll have a high error, and we wouldn't like to do that. Now, if can we look at different variable? Now we have outlook is sunny. What would the case be for the next case? Let's say my outlook is overcast. My outlook is overcast. What should my rule be, and what the error value be? Can you work out and tell me the answers? Take a minute. Given that outlook is overcast, there is one record for overcast, another record for overcast, then another 2 records for the overcast. So if outlook is overcast, what would my rule be, and what may error count be?
Should be 0 by
Yeah, Indrasena, tell me, correct? What is the answer? First, what the rule should be?
0.
No, rule. If outlook is overcast, Should my decision be no? Should my decision be yes?
Yes.
So my rule should be decision yes. If overcast, I'll say yes, play yes. And the 4 records, all of them giving yes. So my error is 0/4. Let's look at third value of this variable where outlook is rainy. Can you work out and tell me what the rule should be and what would the error be when outlook is rainy?
Yes, and 2/5 again.
Little louder.
2/5 is the error.
But what should the rule be? Should when I say rainy, should I say rainy yes or rainy no?
Rainy, yes.
Rainy, no.
Who said
Rainy.
rainy no?
Me.
Look at rainy no. If you look at rainy yes, there are 3 records for yes and 2 records for no. No, no here, yes. So 3 records gives me yes, 2 records gives me no. So my rule should be rain is equal to yes, and my error would be 2 out of 5 times. Because 2 times I'll make a wrong decision, 3 times I make a right decision. So if I were to choose my outlook as my root variable, out of the 14 times, how many times I'm going to make the error and what would my total error be? It is 2 out of 5, 0 out of 4, 2 out of 5, and that error would basically be 4 out of 40. Any doubts about this? Because this is crucial in building our decision tree. Ganesh GB. Nikita.
Oh, sir,
Is it clear what I'm doing? Yeah, Nikita. Are you clear? How do you get 4/14? Can you explain? Because this is crucial, otherwise whole thing will fall flat. No? Akshata, Ramesh,
yes, sir.
did you understood? Can you explain how did you get 4/14?
So we have calculated the total error there, and that's how we got 4/14 as the total error.
Yeah. So you have to basically say the outlook variable has 3 values. First, you look at the value Sunny. Sunny had 5 records. We look at which decision gives us minimum error. So when it says Sunny, our decision is no, we will not play. When we take that decision, our error is 2/5. If our decision was Sunny, yes, our error would be 3/5, and that would make my error count to be higher. So we choose Sunny is equal to, if it is Sunny, that means my decision is no, my error count is 2 out of 5 times. If my outlook was overcast, there are 4 records, and all the 4 records basically gives me yes. That means if outlook is overcast, my decision is yes, and I'm not making any error. And this is what is called purest decision. Because if somebody asks me query, and in the query says my outlook is overcast, I say outlook is overcast as per my data, you can go and play. I don't look at any other variable. And same way we do it for rainy. Out of 5 records, we say 2, and that's what we got the error. Having done that, so we evaluated error only for outlook. Now, can you evaluate the error for temperature and work out? I want to make sure you work out and understand. Given this, work out the error. Akshita, I would expect you to give me the answers. What should the rules be? How many variables value temperature has got? And for each temperature, what should my rule be? And what the error be?
Sir,
Yeah. So if my temperature has three values, hot, mild, and cool. Should I take, if temperature is hot, should my decision be no? Should my decision be yes?
yes, sir.
No. So is the decision right? Hot is no, or should I say hot yes?
Hot is no, sir.
And what would my error be if hot no? It will be 0 by 10, it will be 1 by 5, 3 by 6. What would the error be? Hot no.
So 1 by 2.
How do you get 1 by 2?
So it's 2 by
Total, how many records are there in the hot?
4.
4. So it has to be at least by 4. It cannot be
Yeah,
by
so
2.
it is 2 by 4.
Okay, let's look at hot no. Hot
Yeah,
no, hot no, one correct answer.
One.
Hot no, two correct answers.
yes, sir.
Hot yes, I got one wrong answer,
Yes,
and
sir.
another is hot yes.
Yes, sir.
So my error is 2 by 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now can you give the error for next case when temperature is mild? What would the error value be? Somebody else? Abhishek Goda?
Yes, sir.
So if my temperature is mild, what should my rule be and what should my decision be? I'm saying my temperature is mild. I'm taking the temperature as mild. Then what should my rule be here and what would my error value be? Lakshmi Prasanna?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so can you tell me what would the rule be and what the error would be? I'm looking at this when temperature is mild. No?
It's 2 out of 6.
2 out of 6, precisely. So if we look at here, this is one mild, second mild record, then another 3 mild record, and then one more mild record at the bottom. Out of these 6 records, my 4 are yes,
4 by 6.
and 2 are no.
Yes, sir.
So my rules would be mild is yes, and error would be 2 by 6.
Yes, sir.
Next, if my temperature is cool, what would my error be?
So the rule is cool is yes and error is 1 by 4.
Cool is yes, and error is 1/4. Perfect. So what is total error I'm getting here?
5/14.
5/14. Perfect. Now, can you work out for third variable humidity? What is the error would be for individual values and total error? Spend 2 minutes and tell me. Once somebody is done, speak out.
Doubt. You're selecting hot as no, right? We can select yes also.
Both are same because
Yes.
it is 2/4. Both are same. You can pick either one.
Okay.
Doesn't make a difference.
Yes also, it would be 2/4 only.
Yeah. So you can put both of them. In case the two errors are same, you can pick any values. Make a random choice. Perfect. Yeah, can you work out for humidity all the values and give me the answers? You can see the screen now. I'm assuming. So data is there with you.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
High no is 3/7.
High no is 3/7. Great. And next,
Normal yes is 1/7.
normal yes 1/7. Perfect. Total error is
4/14.
4/14. Perfect. Go to the next one. Windy. And done. Let me know your answers.
True no is 3/6.
True no is 3/6. And what about false?
False yes is 2/8.
2/8 and 3/6. So error is 5/14. So we have now the four variables. Outlook gives me error 4/14. Temperature gives me error 5/14. Humidity 4/14. Windiness 5/14. Now there are two variables which gives me same low error 4/14. Outlook and humidity. Which one would you like to choose and why? We said we want to minimize the error. That means we will not take temp and windiness as our first variable. Root node. We will take either outlook or we look at humidity. So which one should we take for our root node? Any thoughts?
Outlook.
Why? You need to give a reason why. I mean, one reason could be since both are same, we can pick any on random. That's the one choice. This could be fine, but can we do better?
So when looking at the rules, we have sunny no, which has got 2 out of 5, and then rainy is
Yeah.
both are equal.
Yeah, go ahead. But error is 4/14 here, and
Yes,
so is 4/14. So why do we choose outlook as the root and not windiness as the root? Can you look at the data and see some more insight?
If it is overcast, it is already concluded as yes.
Yes, so if you look at the overcast, that means already concluded. That means I'm getting a pure decision immediately. Whereas in the windiness, I still have error. I need to look at more record. So if I were to choose outlook as my root variable, and if the value happens to be overcast, I'm done. My decision faster. So I have an attribute value which gives me purest and don't have to go further. And hence, I'll probably go with outlook as the root variable. Assuming, let's say that maybe I could say that it was not 0 by 4, but let's say it was 1 by 4 here and it was 1 by 5 here. You still get 5 by 14. Then which one you would like to go? So maybe again depends. See, our objective is we would like to build a smaller height tree. And if you recollect from your depth first search and breadth first search, breadth first search typically give you a smaller height tree. You'll be done with minimal height distance. But depth first, the depth could go much longer in a path. And we want a shorter path. So more the attribute, I can maybe say, because I can do multi-way branch, expectedly my depth of the tree could be smaller. So I'll use outlook. So different ways, but first criteria is whichever attribute has the more pure results, like in this case, overcast. So we use over attribute outlook as our root node. So if outlook value could be sunny and value is sunny, then I have only 5 records. From the given set, I have only 5 records. If outlook is overcast, we know our answer is yes, our search is over. And then outlook is rainy, I have the remaining 5 records, and then I have to proceed. So given that this is the case, now repeat the process. I taken one outlook attribute. If overcast, I am done. But sunny, I cannot make a decision. I repeat the process for all 3 attributes. That is temperature, humidity, and windiness. So given this, now can you build the case for the taking temperature first and humidity and then the windiness? Can you work out the error count? So what the error be for temperature? What the error would be for humidity and windiness? If somebody is done, you can speak out. You're working, that's still fine.
Hot is no 0 by 2.
Hot is no 0 by 2, perfect. What about other values?
Mild, yes 1 by 2.
I can do mild yes or I can do mild no, both are same because both give me 1 by 2. So yeah, mild yes could also be right, mild no could also be right. It's perfectly fine.
Cool
Next
yes,
one.
Cool yes 1.
Error is 1.
No error, sorry.
So 0 by 1. You have to say that cool yes 0 by 1. So total error 1 by 5. Now repeat this for humidity.
High no, 0/3.
High no, 0/3. Then
Normal yes,
normal yes,
0/2.
0/2. So total is 0/5. And now do the same thing for windiness.
False no, error is 1/3.
False no, error is 1/3. Next one,
True yes, error is 1/2.
error is 1/2. Perfect. Now do same thing for your, so overcast we don't have to do anything. Rainy, repeat the process for attributes, temperature, humidity and windiness.
Mild yes, 1/3.
Temperature, mild yes, 1/3.
Cool yes, 1/2.
Cool yes, 1/2. There are only two possible values. So error is 2/5. Next, look at humidity.
High yes, 1/2.
High yes and high no, both will give same answers. So I can say high yes or high no, both give 1/2, which is fine.
Normal yes,
1/3.
1/3.
Normal yes, 1/3. So error is 2/5. And third is the windiness. What do you get? False yes,
0/3.
0/3. And true no,
0.
0/2. So 0/5.
Sir, in humidity error should be 2/5.
Where? Oh, this
Humidity.
will be
The
yes.
total error.
Thanks for pointing out. It's typo error. Absolutely right. This will be 2/5. Let me correct it. Thank you. Glad to see that you pointed it out. Now that means if I choose the path sunny from Outlook, what should my next variable be?
Humidity.
Humidity, because there's minimal error. And if I choose the path rainy, my next variable should be windy. So this is how my tree would look like. So this is my sunny, overcast. Overcast, we know the answer yes. Rainy, if it is sunny, this is what we got. We put a rule, humidity 0/5, and we have a rule high no. Answer would be yes. No. If it is normal, answer would be yes. Overcast, we already got the answer. For rainy, this whatever computation were. Again, sorry, this was the error here. So I need to fix this. Windy, false yes, and true no. So I got, now if I have a query which I need to make, that my outlook is sunny, my temperature is hot, my humidity is normal, wind is true, should I play or should I not play? How would you follow it up? Given the decision tree, you have the decision tree. Given this record, following the decision tree, what should the answer be? Should answer be yes? Should answer be no? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because my first variable is outlook, and outlook value happens to be sunny. That means I would follow this path. Outlook is sunny. I follow this path. Look at the variable humidity. My humidity is normal. So go to the normal. My answer happened to be yes. That means I can play. So my answer would be yes. Now you look at one interesting thing. In my this decision tree, which is the attribute I'm not using at all. Out of 4 attributes, I'm using only 3.
Temperature.
Temperature.
Temperature is not being used. That means temperature does not play any role in my decision making from my given data set. But if you look at my tree length, my depth of the tree length is only 2. At any point in time, I just look at 2 points and then decide I'm done with it. I don't go beyond. And that's also my whole 14 data set which I got records. My knowledge is extracted and put in the form of this decision tree. And that is what we have basically done. Any questions about this? So sometimes you need to note that we are able to do that. Sometimes when you come to the end node, if you're doing pruning or something, you may not be able to always terminate with the purity. So this is my decision tree looks like. Not all leaf could be pure because there may still be error you want to stop. Because say I decided my tree length should only be up to 5 or depth or whatever, and then you make a decision there based on the error. So it may not be pure because you may not get 0 error. And then that could be possibility. Secondly, if you look at, if I can't go further, I got a decision, I'm done. And that's the benefit decision tree gives you. So I'll probably stop here. I would say take some data set or suggest you change certain values in this data set, build your own decision tree and see how does it work out. Practice it so that you know how does it work. So I'll stop here, but just a reminder that tomorrow is the guest lecture. So when you sign in,